Welcome back everybody. So in today's video we will be going through the process of installing Docker desktop on macOS environment. So let's get to it. Okay, so like I mentioned in today's video we will be going through the process of installing Docker desktop on macOS environment. But before we actually dive into the installation process, let's quickly check if Docker is installed on our local environment. So to do that, I'm just going to navigate over to my terminal and I will check if Docker is installed. So to do that, just type Docker and Docker fashion, and that is going to tell you if Docker is installed or not. So as you can see, this command is not found, so that means that Docker is not currently installed on our machine. So now let's go over to our browser and download Docker. So to do that, all you have to do is open your browser and look for Docker, and you should be able to see this Docker website here. This is the official website for Docker, docker.com. So I'm just going to open this one on a new tab, and right here you will see right on the front page the download button right here. So this is the download button, and as you can see, you see several options here. So you can see download for Mac, that runs on Intel chip, another one that runs on Apple Silicon, and we have for Windows here. So for me, I'm running on Apple Silicon, and you can actually get that information from here. If you go to about this Mac, you can see the version of Mac that you're running. So you can see here I'm running on Apple M3, and this is macOS or Sonoma 14. Okay, so I'm just going to download then for Apple Silicon. So I'm just going to proceed and hit download for Mac Apple Silicon, and that's going to begin our download. So this should take a few seconds to complete the download, so we'll let it finish and then we'll proceed with the installation after the download is done. Okay, so the download is complete now. So to begin the installation process, you can do two things. You can just open it directly from here and double click it directly from here. So if you double click this download, then it's going to show you this icon here. And then the other way of doing that is also if you go here and open it directly. So I'm actually going to do that, but you know, whichever way you do it is fine. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this other one right here so that we can do that. I'm just going to minimize these running applications. Okay, so this is now the download, right? So this is how you begin the installation. So once you open that file, then this is what you see. So it's asking you here to move this file to applications, and this is so that once you complete the installation, you can actually go to Launchpad and launch Docker directly from there. So we will go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to move this one over to applications, and then once that one is done, I am actually going to double click this to begin the installation. So you can see now it's copying this one to applications, and that one is done. So we will now proceed with the installation. So I'm just going to double click this, and once you do that, it's going to verify Docker application and begin the installation. Okay, so this one is taking a few seconds. Okay, and then right here you get this message saying Docker is an app downloaded from the internet, and if you want to proceed with it, so I'm just going to click open right here to begin the installation, and that is going to start our installation. So you can see now that this is Docker desktop. It just brings you to directly to Docker desktop, and this is how it looks before you log in. Okay, so this is how the desktop looks like for Docker. And as you can see, you have here containers, you have images, you have volumes, you have fields and whatnot. So this is now the Docker desktop, and you know, you can see it was pretty straightforward, right? It's just a few clicks away, and you have your Docker desktop installed. Okay, so now that we have our desktop here installed, there are two things that you can do from here. I think it's recommended that you sign into your environment so that you can see your images that are running and also pull images and whatnot. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to click here where it says sign in, and that should bring me to the Docker login page, and you can put your email address here and username, the username or email address, and then just put the password and proceed and log in. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, so I'm logged in, and then I'm just going to hit here where it says open Docker. So I will now open Docker right here, and there we go. So this is now my Docker, and I have myself logged in right there. Okay, So now from here you can see now that you can go to containers now and see if there's any container running on your Docker account. You can also go to images, volumes, pools, and all of that. Okay. One nice thing that you can see actually here is also you can start terminal from here, and this terminal is going to be pointing to your just it's going to point directly to the same terminal that you have on your Mac environment. So it's going to be running in the same location. Okay, so if you just wanted to run Docker images, Docker commands using the terminal, it's pretty neat here. You will see it down here. I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to use my regular terminal, but it's good to know that you can do that right here. Okay, so now that we have Docker desktop installed, let's head over to terminal. So I'm just going to go to terminal, and I'm going to quit it and open a new window here, and let's see now if we are able to actually run Docker. So to do that, let's just run the same command again, Docker fashion, and see if we are able to see Docker now. Okay, so seems like Docker is still not recognized even after we installed our desktop. So there's one thing here that can explain this. That means that actually Docker is not added to our path automatically. This is not a common scenario, but if you see something like this, if you see a situation where after you install the Docker desktop and you are still not able to run the Docker command, then you do need to add this Docker into your path. So to do that, we need to locate where Docker is installed, and usually Docker is installed inside applications. So just go to applications, and if you check here, you will see that we have Docker app right here. Okay, so we will just go to that folder, Docker app, docker.app, and then you will see here we have contents. All right, so just do that, and then inside here you want to go to resources. That is where now your pin directory is located. Okay, so you can see inside here you have pin, and that is where your Docker commands are located. So just go to pin, and now you can see that you have the Docker commands like Docker compose bridge. I think Docker compose somewhere also here. We don't have Docker compose here, but you have kubectl hub tool. Okay, but the main thing here is Docker. Okay, so you do have Docker here now, and from here actually, if you run Docker, I believe Docker fashion now from here, I think this should run. Okay, so you run a Docker fashion, and it's going to check the Docker right there. Okay, so you can see that the Docker image, if you run it from this location, runs fine. So now what we need to do is we need to copy this location. Okay, so I'm just going to go one level up, and we want to copy this location right here. So I'm just going to copy this, and we need to add this one to our path. So we are just going to, I'm just going to put that one right here. I'm going to put it in a text editor like Sublime. Just going to copy it here, paste it right there. Okay, now so now that we have that one, we need to go back to our home directory. Okay, and then from here you do need to locate the file where you need to add this location to. So usually for the newest versions of Mac, the place where you want to add your file path is this one here, chshrc. Okay, so what we want to do is you want to open that file and just add the path there. So you can do two things. You can do it using vi or a nano or whichever text editor that you want to use. So for my case, I'm just going to open this using vi. So I'm just going to do that, and we want to do chshrc like that. Okay, so that is going to open my file now where I can set the path. So I'm just going to mimic one of the existing ones here. I'm just going to actually hit I. So if you hit I on your desktop, you will be able to edit this file. So I'm just going to go down here, and I will copy this one here, copy, and I will bring it over to this location here so I can edit directly from here. And actually now you can see that we just want to export path, and we want to put the location for where our application is installed. So I'm just going to copy that, and I will replace it right up to here like so. Okay, so this is where Docker is installed: applications, Docker app, contents, resources, and of course we want to go to pin directory so that we can run the command. And then just this is how the command will look like. I'm just going to delete that and copy this. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this now, and we will put this one in our file here. So I'm still in the edit mode. So again, if you hit I on your desktop, that will let you edit this file, and I'm actually going to paste it right here. Okay, so you can paste it anywhere. You can paste it in the bottom, in the top, doesn't matter. Okay, so you can see here now we have our part, our export right here added. So in future now, if we add it like this, in future when we come back, this will persist and we should be able to run our commands properly for Docker. So I'm just going to hit escape after that, and then shift colon and then WQ, and then just hit enter. And what we want to do is and I don't think this is necessary, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm just going to refresh it, CSHRC. Okay, so there's no error. That means that we have been able to successfully set our path. So then from here we can now run Docker commands. Okay, so we run Docker fashion, for example. Again, there we go. Okay, so you can see now that Docker is running properly. Okay, so you see we have Docker installed now, and Docker fashion will tell you the version of Docker desktop that you installed. So in our case we have version 27, and the API is 147, and also the Docker desktop here you can see other things like the server again, the API version, and some other information here. Okay, so that's just one way of checking your Docker. And then the other thing that we will be checking later in this video is Docker info. So this will tell you more information. It's more detailed version of Docker version. Okay, so if you run Docker info, it's going to tell you more information about your environment. So for example, in this case we are running we are using, this is where our path is, users, and it's inside Docker plugins. And what's more important here is you can actually check the containers that are running on your environment. So if you go to the server section here, you can see how many containers are running, how many are running, how many are posted, how many are stopped, images, the same thing. Okay, so this is just more information that you can check from right here. Okay, so that is now our terminal is working properly, it's set up, and you can run your commands here. Now let's actually navigate over to our desktop, and let's see what we see right there. Okay, so you go over to desktop, and so you can see now this is our desktop. I'm just going to close this terminal here, and so you see from our desktop here, our Docker desktop, that we don't have any images, we don't have any containers, we don't have any pills, nothing. Okay, so this is clean, nothing there. So let's do one thing now. Let's actually run let's pull an image from Docker registry, and let's see if we can push it here, and if we can see it on our Docker desktop. Okay, so to do that, we will head over to Docker Hub. So just go to your browser and look for Docker Hub. So just go to Docker Hub, and Docker Hub is the container registry where Docker images are stored. So if you go there, you can sign in as well, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go to this section here where it says Docker official image, and I will check this one for images as well. And right here, as you can see, Docker Hub has a lot of images that you can use to build the application. So you can actually see that we have Postgre, Redis, Ubuntu, Python, MongoDB. So we have a lot of images here that you can actually pull. These are already pre-built, so you can, and they're verified, so you can actually use them. So what we want to do is we want to check for hello world here, hello world. So I'm just going to type hello world here, and we want to pull this image for hello world just to make sure that our Docker is running properly. So if you hit this, you will see this command here. So we're just going to copy this from here, and we'll come over to our terminal. Okay, and we will paste that command right here like so, and we'll say Docker pull hello world. That is going to pull this image from Docker registry, and you can see it successfully pulled it. And now if you want to check the images, you can just run Docker images, and that is going to show you the image right here. I'm not sure if that pulled the container also. Let's check Docker containers. This will tell you which containers. I think it's Docker container, right? Docker container, yes. Actually no, to check containers, you just run Docker ps. Okay, and you can put air to see all the containers that are running. Okay, so this is the command to see for any running containers in your environment. But again, so we have one image now running in our Docker right here, and if I don't believe this one is already in our Docker desktop yet. Let's see if we refresh it here. Yes, so it seems, yeah, it's able to see now that we pulled this image, and it's now in our environment, but it's not running, so you can see it's unused. So to do that, to run it, you can actually do it directly from here. I believe you can start it, you can run it, or if you don't want to do that, if you want to use a terminal, then you can go over here and just say docker run and then hello world, the name of the image right there. Okay, hello world. So that's going to run this Docker image, and as you can see, this is the successful message telling you that hello from Docker. This message shows that your installation appears to be working correctly. Okay, and this is the same message that you can also see from right here. Okay, so that means now that Docker, of course, now is running well. And if we go back to the Docker desktop and refresh this, you will now see that this icon here has changed and it says it is in use. I believe also in the container section here, when we run it, the container is also now actively running as well. So this is the container ID and this is the name of the container. Okay, so to do that, to check the container, also you can do docker ps now, and if you do just docker ps, it's going to not show you, but if you do docker, that is going to show you the running containers. Okay, so this is these are the containers now that are running in our Docker desktop and Docker environment. So from there, I mean, you can now start building your environment, pulling images. If you have a custom image, you can use the commands to push it to Docker registry and pull it from there as well. So that's how you can now use Docker and Docker desktop. So from here, you can actually now tell that your Docker environment is up and running properly, and you can proceed and use your Docker as you wish. Now, one thing that I want to do here before we end this video is you can actually go ahead and delete this from here, and also delete the containers. But if you wanted to do that through the terminal, the command to run that, of course, if you want to stop the image and delete it, there are two things that you need to do first, because it runs inside the container, so you need to actually stop the container first. So if you just run this command docker stop and put the container ID. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the container ID right here, like so. This is going to stop the container ID, but this will not delete. So if you want to remove this container completely from your environment, then after that just do docker remove and then copy the ID right there. So that's now going to delete the container completely. And if you go back to your desktop right here, you will see that the container is no longer available. Okay, so the other way of doing that is you could just have come here and select the container and delete it, and that will also work. So whichever way you choose is going to give you the same result. And then from there, you can see that we still have the images running now. If you want to delete the image, you can now proceed and delete the image from right there. So the command for that one is remove image, so RMI, and then the name of the image right here. Okay, so that's going to delete the image. Okay, so you can see now this one has been deleted, and if you try running again Docker images now, that image is no longer there, and if you come here, it's also gone. Okay, so it's the terminal and the desktop are pretty synced together. Okay, so you can now use whichever one if you believe that, I mean, whichever one is your best one, right? If you want to use the desktop to run and manage, so this is like the admin, sort of like the administration desktop. So you can use here to just see your images, inspect it and delete and start and restart. But you can also use the terminal as well. So whichever one you prefer, you can choose whichever case you like. Alright guys, so that's how you install Docker Desktop on your macOS environment. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please give thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not. I will see you then in the next video. Bye bye.